Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we have some really big savings for you right now. Our new crossover sale is underway. New Terrains, Equinoxes, and Trailblazers starting at $23,290. That's right, $23,290. Also, we've continued our huge Sierra and Silverado truck sale with over $10,000 off new pickups. You heard right, over $10,000 off list. Koppel truly has a small town feel with big city deals. We're right down 144th Street or at KoppelCars.com. Stock numbers G260980 and C119824.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Sunday, February 18th versus the Orlando Valkyries at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 7 p.m. with first serve at 8. Make sure to tune in to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Hey, it's Chad with the Nutrition Authority, inviting you to stop in and check out the all-new Complete Post-Workout Recovery, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today and try a free sample or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300. Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
This is Adam Carriker on the ticket.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, first and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, Adam Carriker.
I am not an 8-year NFL vet, and I am not Adam Carriker. Nick Sainert with you here, the noon hour. Happy lunch break on a Friday. Adam is out today, but you will hear his voice here in just a few seconds as he had an opportunity to sit down with Jaz Shelley of Nebraska women's basketball earlier this week. Had a great conversation with Jaz, and we'll play that conversation for you. It's about 15 minutes long or so. With Jaz Shelley, the Husker women's basketball guard, who had a huge game against the Iowa Hawkeyes last weekend. A little bit of a disappointing follow-up against the Buckeyes, yes, but nonetheless, Nebraska was able to top number 2 Iowa last weekend, and a big part of that was the late Jaz Shelley 3 at PBA. So, as always, though, in this hour, Nick Sainert with you. Austin Orman will join me in about 30 minutes or so, and Austin and I will actually take you through the rest of the afternoon. By the way, if you're not doing anything this afternoon, come on down. Parkway Lanes, the Junior Achievement Bowl-a-thon is about ready to commence. And so come on down, spend some time with us. We'll be broadcasting live from Parkway Lanes from 4 to 6 p.m. with Old School. So Jay Foreman, myself, Austin, Jake Sorensen, we'll all be down there at Parkway Lanes, 48th and Normal, for that event. It's going to be exciting times, and you can raise money for a really good cause. Now, update, because Nebraska baseball is starting, and we'll keep you updated throughout the afternoon. They had a first pitch at 11 a.m. this morning against the Baylor Bears down in Dallas. How about this? Brett Sears has had an unbelievable start only allowed a couple of hits, and now through 5 scoreless innings, Nebraska and Baylor all knotted up at 0. So tied 0-0 as they head into the top half of the 6th inning. Once again, Nebraska's Friday night guy, Brett Sears, is through 5 scoreless innings. There was a point as he entered the third, there was 6 strikeouts in the first 8 outs recorded for the Nebraska pitcher. So nice job there by Brett Sears. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's get to it. Adam Carriker sat down with Husker women's basketball Jaz Shelley. And if you're on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, you'll be able to see it as they did record video. If not, enjoy the audio of Adam Carriker sitting down with Husker women's basketball star guard Jaz Shelley. Here it is.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Adam Carriker on the ticket. I hope you're having a glorious Friday. I hope it leads into a phenomenal weekend. I want to give a shout out to Nick, who's been helping me out. Did the beginning of the show, going to do the end of the show. But earlier this week, I had a chance to chat with our special guest who's going to be joining me here in a few seconds. She's a 2-time All-Big Ten performer, first team All-Big Ten in 2023, Nebraska team MVP in 2023, and Big Ten All-Defensive Team in 2022. From Australia, played on the Australian national team throughout high school and from 2020 up until present. And if you didn't know, she's the reigning Big Ten Player of the Week and the first ever Husker to be the National Player of the Week as well. Miss Jaz Shelley, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the season so far. So far, you're 16-9, 4th in the Big Ten. How do you feel about the season so far? Like, what do you feel like you and the team have done well? What's the biggest thing you'd like to work on as you finish the season? How do you feel about the season to this point?
Yeah, I'm definitely really proud of our team. I think that we've had some ups and downs. We're trying to maintain that consistency, which I think we've done better this year than last year, considering we're sitting in 4th place in the Big Ten. And that's one of our goals, to be up in the forefront of the Big Ten. And I'm really proud of our team so far, but we've got to finish out this season. The last 4 games pretty strong.
Now there's only 3 teams in front of you, okay? Those teams are Ohio State, Indiana, and Iowa. You played 2 of those 3 teams in your past couple of games, okay? Talk about the Big Ten win versus Iowa last Sunday, coming back from the 14-point deficit, coming back and winning that game at home, and just what that meant for you, what it meant for the team.
Yeah, that was a huge one for us. It was a big confidence booster, just to know that we can compete against the best teams in the country. And I think that we've got to take that belief in moving forward. And we can do that if we put our minds to it. We're capable of special things.
Now, everyone knows Caitlin Clark's a great player, the first player in the history of college basketball to get 3,000 points, 1,000 assists, and she was only 8 points away from setting the all-time scoring record. But you and your teammates were able to do something that's never been done to her before and hold her scoreless in that 4th quarter. So talk to me about what it's like to play against someone like Caitlin Clark and what you were able to do in that 4th quarter holding her scoreless.
Yeah, she's a special talent, and the thing that makes her such a good basketball player is her ability to pass and use her teammates. If you take one thing away, she's going to pinpoint a pass right behind you here to an open player. So she's an incredible player, and she's hard to guard. Honestly, it takes 5 people on the floor kind of locked in to know where she's at, try and limit her touches. But I think it's credit to our coach to up our defense in the 4th quarter, first scoreless, that we all keep defense. Haven't worked on too much or played throughout the season, and we just committed to it. We were able to lock it up a little bit.
All right. I'm just going to ask you, cleared it up on Twitter, okay, the hand gesture and all that, but not everybody's on Twitter. So for those who aren't on Twitter, you made a hand gesture during the game. Some people took it a certain kind of way. Yeah. But for those who didn't hear that, why don't you go ahead and clear it up for those fine folks here again as well?
Yeah, so in the 4th quarter, we went to a face guard defense, and our gesture was simply like hand in front of the face so everyone on the floor knew what we were doing. And then so I did that, and a timeout got called after I hit my shot, so it kind of looked like I was trying to do it at her or against her. But, I mean, I don't really have trash talk in my game, so I wouldn't be able to come up with something like that. But, I mean, it was just a special feeling. I hate that backlash is coming, but, I mean, I respect the game and stuff, so.
I think anytime you play against someone like Caitlin Clark, everything is amplified like 100 times. And it's funny because I coach competitive basketball, so does my wife. My daughter, who's in 8th grade, Addison, 7th grade, I should say, she goes, "Oh, that's the face guarding gesture." Like, she knew what you were doing. It's kind of a universal, signal, I thought, but, not everybody's aware of that, so that's okay. But I just want to give you a chance to clear that up for those who had not heard that. So you and your team are 11-3 at home. Okay, so far this year, playing great. What's it like playing in front of the fans, Pinnacle Bank Arena? What's that atmosphere like? What's it like playing in front of Husker Nation at home?
Yeah, it's a special thing, and I'm grateful for it. I don't think everyone in the nation is able to experience anything like Husker Nation, and they really help us get the win. And I just can't wait to be back at PBA again, play in front of them a few more times before I'm done here. So.
Now, with tough loss last night to number 2 Ohio State, okay, 80-47. Obviously not the way you wanted it to go, but the way you finished the season, you've got at Purdue, home versus Northwestern in Minnesota, and then you close out the regular season at Illinois. Then you head into the Big Ten tournament. So talk to me about bouncing back from the tough loss last night, as well as finishing the season strong, and what that looks like to you, and what you're going to need to do as a team in order to accomplish that.
Yeah, I think the game last night was a big shock to us. We were essentially punked by Ohio State. They're a very incredible defensive team, and that one was hard to swallow. But looking forward, we have a really good opportunity to finish the season out really, really strong. And if we want to keep our dreams and hopes of going to the NCAA tournament alive, these are the ones that we have to win, and very locked and focused. That's what we have to do, and we're just going to continue to play, believe in each other, and I believe that we.
All right, now you came back to Nebraska this year hoping to lead the Huskers to the NCAA tournament. What would playing and competing in the NCAA tournament mean for you and your team?
Yeah, it's everything. I mean, it's something that we really look forward to, something that we set our goals on early in the season. That's essentially what I came back for, an opportunity to play on that national stage, an opportunity to get the Huskers over the line. And like I said, do it, and if we can beat. We're completely locked in. I just want that because I think everyone.
Now, you're from Australia. Most everyone knows that. You went and played at Oregon for a couple of years, and you transferred to Nebraska. This is your 3rd season here with the Big Red. I'm just kind of curious. What's it like going from playing in Australia to coming and playing over here in the States? Like, what's it like cultural-wise, just everyday life? And what's it like in a basketball sense? What's different within the game of basketball itself?
Yeah, I would say life is pretty similar, actually. I mean, we just sound a little different. Well, you guys sound different to me, but
Yep.
I would say it's pretty similar, except in the basketball scheme of things, we play professional basketball from a young age. So I was playing pro ball back in Australia before I came over to the US. So I think it's cool to be able to have college sports, and we don't have that in Australia. So I think this something is really special and something that I've always dreamed of doing. And I think that's kind of the difference. And then once I'm done here, I want to go back and play pro basketball.
So I was going to ask you about that because you did play pro ball. What's the biggest difference between playing like professional basketball, since you've already done that, and most girls in college basketball have not, versus playing college basketball itself?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just physicality, playing against grown women. Who some of them have like day jobs, some of them have kids. It's like it's a whole different world, and get away with a lot more in pro sports. And then I would say pro sports, like in Australia, is more like individualized in the sense like that's your job. And so it's different being within a system in college.
It's funny because when I first walked into an NFL locker room, I was like 22. There was guys in there that were like 30, 35. I had no kids, just got married. Some guys had like 4 kids. I'm like, yep. You're just in a different spot in your life than I am. And now I'm at where they were, so I get it a little bit more. And it's funny when you talk about, maybe we sound different to you or you sound different to us. I actually had an internship in college, and I worked for a call center. And I said, why would you pick, like, for a national brand, like, why would you pick Nebraska? They're like, because Nebraskans don't have accents. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's why you picked Nebraska to be a call center, because Nebraskans don't have accents, so to speak. But anyways, I've never forgotten that. It was kind of interesting to me. All right, so talk to me about head coach Amy Williams. This is her 8th year here at Nebraska, your 3rd year playing for her. What's it like playing for Coach Williams?
Yeah, I think she's a very different coach to most. She has this genuine love and care for her players. That's on the basketball floor and off. I mean, she's helped me in so many areas off the basketball floor with like internships, with going to different conventions and stuff, networking. She's been incredible in that area, but also on the floor, like as she plays plays everyone, gives everyone a chance. And I think that's something that's special because you see these players shining on the bench that they in other teams they wouldn't get the opportunity. So I think that's something cool that she does as a coach.
All right. And I've got 5 daughters. 4 of them are still playing basketball next year. One decided to narrow it down to volleyball and track, so that'll make Coach Cook happy. Sorry, Coach Williams, but my other 4 girls freaking love basketball. So they wanted me to, this is specifically for you because you played pro ball, you played college ball already, so it's a unique experience set that you have. So they wanted to know, what advice would you give to young girls who are looking to maybe one day potentially play at the next level?
Yeah, I would say my parents did a really good job at a young age by not burning me out, just always having the love for the game and not taking it too seriously unless you have to. Just always find a way to be able to separate yourself from basketball as well, to still have that personality outside of the basketball floor. And yeah, that's be my advice.
That's phenomenal advice. And, you know, I see a lot of youth sports. Obviously, I cover college sports, and I've seen a lot of things. It's interesting because I've asked Coach Cook that about 4 or 5 years ago, and I asked Will Bolt, the baseball coach, that when he was first hired. They both gave the same exact answer, independent of each other. Their wordage was, don't become a solo sport athlete too young. You're kind of saying the same thing, just in a different way, like keeping the love of the game alive. So how do you, like, did you become a solo sport athlete young, or how did you keep the love of that game alive?
Yeah, so I played a bunch of different sports when I was younger, and then I just picked basketball and netball, which is not a sport here, but I was pretty competitive in netball up until I was about 14 when I made my first Australian team. I just committed to playing just basketball. But before that, I didn't play super competitive basketball. It was kind of more just fun. I always had my siblings to be around. I didn't start doing the serious stuff too early, just so that I could keep the love for the game and keep enjoying it and not taking it too seriously too early.
I like that. I'll give you one quick story. I don't want to bore people too much with all the stories I've seen, but my 9-year-old daughter was playing softball. Okay. It's January and she's at a volleyball. How dare she play volleyball too? Her softball coach shows up on that day under the gauze of rooting for her. But all he did was talk about how she wasn't at the morning workout that day in January for softball during volleyball season when she's 9. Like, that's just one of the insane stories that just blows me away.
Yeah. No, I'm all for playing all the sports you can. You find the love for one.
All right, I have to ask, what is netball? What exactly is that?
So netball is essentially basketball, but there's no backboard and you can't dribble. So there's 7 players on the floor. You can only pass it. The defender has to be 3 feet away. You kind of like shoot behind your head because they're 3 feet away. If you're long enough, you can kind of block it. But
that sounds quite interesting. I'm gonna have to Google that. You got me intrigued now.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate you joining me. Good luck the rest of the year, Jazz. And ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24